Welcome to At the Table with Baz, a Meatery Masterclass. Each month we explore a different meat, working with what's at its best as the seasons change. From the cuts you already love to the ones you might not have tried, I'll break them down properly, show you where they come from and how to cook them in a way that works at home. It's farm to fork, low food miles, traditional methods with respect for the animal throughout. So, let's get into it. Hello and welcome to At the Table with Baz, a Meatery Masterclass. The first Wednesday of every month we're going to bring you a brand new episode. We're going to butcher some meat, we're going to talk about the process that we use in our butcher's shop, and then we're going to draft a chef in, maybe one of the chefs at the Clock House, and we're going to cook it and we're going to taste it. And the best thing is you can practice and do the same yourself at home. We thought it'd be a great place to start with some beautiful dry-aged beef, with some real quality steak. And it's sometimes a little bit difficult to get the perfect steak. Well, it's our job to show you the best way to do it, or in our opinion, the best way to do it. And we're starting off with some beautiful sirloin steak. Now, we dry age our steaks in a controlled environment in our dry aging chamber. The controlled environment is a set temperature and it removes the moisture from the beef and it lets the natural enzymes tenderize the meat, which gives a deeper flavour and a really tender steak. Now, as you can see, we've got a couple of different breeds here. This is from a Hereford cross, this is from a Limousin cross, both beautiful beef. We always use heifer beef, which is the female cow. We think that this gives the best flavour, and that's what we like to use in this shop. So female beef under 30 months old. That's very important as well. Anything over 30 months, it's not sold through our shop because we want to give you the premium of quality. Now, as you can see, these are at a different age. This is around about 2 weeks old, and this is a little bit over 3 weeks old, and this is what we are going to work with. We can sell this upon request, but for us, it's just a week or so too fresh. Yes, that's right, too fresh. We really want to give it a little bit longer, which is a perfect way of doing it, and it's a traditional way of doing it. Butchers have been dry aging meat for many years, and we enjoy sticking to tradition and doing things the proper way, and doing things the way that we've been taught for generations. So we're going to put this back into the dry aging fridge for another week, at least a week, and we're going to work with the older of the two, this beautiful Limousin cross, a lovely bit of cover on, as you can see, which will be absolutely beautiful, and that'll really help the cooking process. Don't be shy to have a little bit of fat on your meat. Fat is flavour, and time creates flavour as well. Time creates tenderness, and that's what we're working with at the moment. We always like to keep our knife sharp, get a little bit of keep the edge on it, and of course we'll have a few of them. There's iron filings going into the meat, and there really isn't. Let's just wipe the blade and have a little look. There's no iron filings. So that's the iron filing myth to bed. Let's butcher some beautiful steaks. So first we're going to take the sirloin off the bone. A nice sharp knife will keep as much of the meat on the meat as we can, and as less as what we can on the bone. Although there will be no waste, the bones will be used to make our stocks and gravies at our restaurant, the Clock House. We give bones away to customers that are wanting to treat their dog. We even look after the dogs here. Craft butchery is all about nose to tail butchery. It's all about using every part of the animal from nose to tail. And that's what we like to do. That's the traditional way of doing it. No waste. Even the beef trimmings will go into the burgers or the beef steak sausages. So we just take this off the bone. Watching our fingers at the same time. And there we go. Now, we will clean the bones up a little bit later on, but as you can see, we can go in between and we'll take the little bits of beef out. Again, nothing will go to waste, and then we'll saw down the bones, and that'll make for the perfect stocks. So here we have a beautiful boneless sirloin ready for trimming up and ready for steaking, which will be absolutely stunning. You can see the colour. When we cut into this, you'll see the deep red, which will be absolutely beautiful. Bright red, that's no good, that's too fresh. You want the deep red colour that this will give you once it's trimmed up. So let's show you what it's like on the inside. We always remove this top part of the gristle. You don't really want to be eating that. Square it up. Beautiful. So let's have a look how beautiful it is. You see the marbling on the inside. This will melt during the cooking process, giving it a beautiful buttery flavour, and the stunning bit of cover on top. We can trim this up, but I'll not be trimming mine up. Beautiful. Look at that for absolutely stunning sirloin steak. This is melt in the mouth stuff. It's making the knife look sharp, it is. Absolutely top class. Every single one is beautiful. And there we go, some stunning, some absolutely beautiful Limmy Cross sirloin steaks. Just over 3 weeks dry aged, the deep red flavour, the nice little bit of white fat on top. This will be absolutely top class every single time. So I have been shopping earlier today. I've been having a little wander around one of our local reputable supermarkets to see what the comparison would be when it comes to a quality sirloin steak. So let's put one of ours on the board and let's have a little look what some of our competitors are up to. So I've got a couple of types. I've taken the labels off. We're not going to mention the supermarkets, but I've got a couple of types. Now this is the same. This is sirloin steak. Now this is of slightly expensive. There's both sirloin steak, but this is from the best of the best section, whatever they call it. And this is from your normal section. Now, we don't have two separate sections to buy your sirloin steaks from. They are all of the highest. They're all of the highest quality. So the first thing is you don't need to worry about coming in and choosing the cheaper option or the most expensive option. We only sell sirloin steak and we only sell the best. So let's have a look at the cheaper option, which was around about £30 a kilo. So we'll open it up. A lot of plastic packaging, before you even look any further. And you see, this is something that I took off as I was trimming up. I took that piece off. That'd end up in our mince. So first of all, and I've not done anything to it, not very thick. I don't know how long it's been in the packaging for. Don't even smell the best, to be honest. Now this is from the rump end of the sirloin, and you can see there's a big thick piece of gristle through it. So when we're butchering the rump end of the sirloin, we actually take this off and we trim all of this gristle out, because you don't want to be eating that. We cut this nice and thick and we make our steak kebabs with this. What do we do with the gristle? Well, the gristle goes in the bin. That should be going in the bin. That's bin fodder. That's not for your plate. So the difference is just second to none. Now, let's now compare to your 36 quid a kilo steak, which funnily enough is a little bit more expensive than ours, just a little bit. See if I can get into it. A lot of plastic here, a lot of plastic. So this is This is the optimum. This is the most premium of quality. So let's have another look at the difference. Again, a couple of hours. So the first thing, we've got a beautiful piece of white fat which will really help the steak cooking. We can trim this to your preference. But again, look at the colour, look at the deep red. Just look at the difference. What would you prefer on your plate? I mean, it goes without saying, what would you prefer? And what have they done again? Look, we've got a big thick piece of gristle through here. So all of this is all gristle. You can see how thick that is. We wouldn't sell your steak with thick gristle on like that. So again, that's all waste. That's for the bin. And this is the quality. This is what you're paying for from a supermarket. When we start looking at it, this is what you're paying for from a supermarket. Again, what you're paying for from a proper butcher's. And that's not just our butcher's shop. We have a butcher's shop, the Meatery, in the marketplace in Gainsborough. But you go to any local butcher's and you'll be looked after time and time and time again. So I'm just being quite careful now to try and display the reputable supermarket steaks as nicely as we've displayed ours, just so it's fair. And let's just have a little look. What would you prefer to have for your dinner? Because I know what I prefer to have for my dinner. Spot the difference, taste the quality, and in terms of price, we're actually cheaper. We're actually cheaper. Let's have a look at how much a beautiful steak from the Meatery is going to set you back. So we avoid the amount of plastic packaging, which is absolute waste, and we wrap our steaks in one piece of stunning meat preservation paper. This will keep your steak at optimum quality. Absolutely superb. And let's have a little look at the price. £8.42 for a beautiful butcher's steak, thickly cut and in the best condition. So when you go into the supermarket, and I think it was £1 a kilo dearer, but let's just have a look, £9.65 at our price. What do you fancy for your dinner? Now don't forget, you could go for the cheaper option. Now our steak will still be the same price. The cheaper option will be, it will be cheaper. Let's make sure we get the whole steak. I think that was it complete. £5.82. So there you go. Do you want to pay £8 for a corker, or do you want to pay just short of £6 for your bits and pieces? Now, we're not going to put this into our mince. We're not going to put this into our burgers. We're not going to put this into our stewing steak. We're going to put it straight in the bin. I missed. I missed again. I missed the bin. Can't win them all. So we're going to wrap a couple of these steaks up. We're going to take them to one of our chefs, and let's find the perfect way to cook a steak. And the reason I'm doing this, let's do a bit of taste testing. So I've drafted in some expert help. This is Carl, the head chef at the Clockhouse. And one of the reasons we wanted to start episode 1 with the steak, Carl, is because so many people are frightened to have a go with steak.
Yeah.
They find it's like a tough thing to get right.
Yep.
So I thought it'd be a good one to start with. Start off with an absolute bang and cook some stunning steak. I've brought a couple of sirloins for us to cook and to try today, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
So, putting you on the spot, a couple of questions for you.
Yeah.
What's like a top tip? So if a customer wants to cook a steak and they want to cook a really nice steak, give us a tip.
I'd say there's a few. First one is the meat's got to be the best of the best. Speak to your local butcher, Meatery, obviously.
The Meatery, a little plug, yeah.
But get the best meat. It really does make a difference. And how the cow lived. It sounds stupid, but it really does make a difference.
I suppose that's something you've always done in your chefing career then.
Yeah.
So I know we mentioned the Meatery, but any good, reputable local butcher.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, you see meats in the supermarket and they're cheaper. They are cheaper for a reason. And you get your cheaper butchers, again, they're cheaper for a reason. You will taste the quality, I promise you. And then into the cooking, my second tip is get a really hot pan and a heavy bottom pan, like a skillet pan. A hot pan and searing the meat in that gets what's called a Maillard reaction. It's the scientific word, a little bit of a nerd.
I was going to say then, I bet that's the Maillard reaction.
Yeah, well, you would have been right. You would have been right. Yeah. So the Maillard reaction, anything above 140 degrees.
Got to get a good Maillard reaction, and you're on.
You know a good steak when it sits down and it's been a good Maillard. But that creates a good crust. It seals in the flavour, seals in the juices.
It like holds the flavour in the meat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it also creates a new flavour. It creates a crust. If you put it in a cold pan, it won't get a good colour and therefore it won't get a good flavour. So that's tip number 2. And then tip number 3 is a good seasoning, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Just a good mould and sea salt. I just cook with salt. I don't cook with pepper because pepper's a spice. I will put pepper in the sauces and things like that. Flaked sea salt, not table salt. And that is it, and a really good resting with the steak after it's cooked. Rest it for as long as you cook it. So if you cook it for 5 minutes, you rest it for 5 minutes. It's not complicated, it just takes a bit of time and a bit of love. But they're my top tips for steak cooking.
Sounds good. So from farm to fork then, let's turn this into a bit of quality dinner for us.
Let's get something cooked.
Into the kitchen, there
Fantastic.
we go.
I'll be right back. Go for about a minute. I'm going to flip it now. See how that's got a really good brown. Push down a little bit just to stop it curling.
Smells lovely as well, like you see these.
So once that's got a good colour on it all over, I'm going to flip it onto its fat side, render that fat down a little bit more, and then I'm going to have a good amount of butter, obscene amount of butter, and just baste that to finish it off.
Yeah. Just give it a bit of that.
Absolutely. This works with fish, this works with meat. We're going to take it off the heat now because for me, that's done for me. That's a nice medium rare. So we've got the flavour into the steak now, so at this point now it's just letting it rest.
I've got to tell you a story about sirloin steak and how it got its name. King Henry VIII was eating some beef at his grand table, and it was the nicest beef he'd ever tasted in his life. He called out the chef to tell him about this beef. The chef came from the kitchen and he said, "Chef, what beef is this? It's the nicest beef I've ever tasted in all my life." And the chef said, "Well, it's loin of beef. It's a beautiful cut." And he thought, well, it's so good. He took out his sword, he knighted it there and then, and he said, "This will now be known as SIR-LOIN." And that's how sirloin steak got its name. What do you reckon to that bit of history, Chef?
How interesting. I do love a bit of history.
There you go, you see. Beautiful. So 2 sirloin steaks.
So Baz is serving me today. I am honoured. Thank you.
So will we just get stuck in then?
I think that's the best way, mate.
You first.
I'll do the honours. I'm going to go straight for the meat. I'm not getting involved with that salad. But this should just melt in the mouth, be really tender. Smells lovely. Lovely colour.
Wow.
So you can taste that flavour, you can taste that Maillard reaction. And it's just the caramelisation in that crust of the steak. And it just makes all the difference. It really does.
I mean, that is like melt in the mouth stuff, that, like, no exaggeration, that is absolutely stunning.
Yep, that fat is, you know, I had a big amount of fat on there, but it's not chewy.
I went for the biggest bit, I did.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, what kind of beef's that then? It's loin.
That's loin of beef, that one, yeah.
Well, I'm going to say right now, I'm going to knight that, I'd like to call this sirloin.
Sirloin. Sirloin it is.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
I'll go for seconds. The cucumber.
You can taste that butteriness to it as well.
Yeah.
And people can do this at home.
Absolutely.
Like, so simple.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's nothing to be scared about cooking a steak.
Well, I'm going to polish this off now. But that is how to cook the perfect steak. Thanks, Carl,
No
for
problem
your
at all.
assistance with that. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to At the Table with Baz. If you enjoyed the episode, a like, share or review goes a long way and I would be extremely grateful. You can stay connected with us on social media across all of your favourite platforms, and if you know someone with a story worth sharing, they can get in touch with me directly via the website atthetablewithbaz.co.uk. I'll see you next time.